Ando no caminho só, sigo no direito, não me dá respeito, me leva pra qualquer lugar.
We're big fans of the Brazilian league, so it's a little bit of an overtime. It doesn't take very long. But, we do have a little bit of a segment that we do here. It's called Brasileirão USA. It's been a while since we've done one, so since we have you here and we're actually ending on time, we'll go 2, 3, maybe 4 minutes over just to talk a little bit about the league, the Brazilian league, and how it intersects with Major League Soccer, right? So are you watching the Brazilian league? A lot of people are starting to ask me about it. I'm starting to see more MLS people interested in the Brasileirão and Flamengo. And here goes Eric. He's going to do it. I love it. But talk to me a little bit about the Brazilian league, what's going on there, and how you've been involved with it. Again, overtime here, baby.
Unfortunately, I got to watch it, right? It's my job. Unfortunately, I got to watch it. I do have a Palmeiras jersey somewhere to my left over here. Just because I like to collect a bunch of jerseys.
He does. He's good about
that. I got like 5 or 6 Brasileirão jerseys too, actually.
I just donated about like 80 jerseys this past month.
Wow.
In my collection. But unfortunately, I got to watch it because it's my job. But, man, sometimes it's hard to watch. Either MLS. MLS is hard to watch too. But after I left the Club World Cup, I've seen the quality of those games. But Brasileirão has been fun. Flamengo has been putting up a challenge. I got so criticized this last week because I said for both Flamengo and Palmeiras getting out of the Brazil Cup, it's a good thing, not a bad thing, because you're going to have more time to rest and focus on the league and focus on Libertadores. And they both actually got out, which was surprising. But I think there's a champion for the league this year, which is Flamengo. I think it's going to be hard to beat what they're doing. And, one thing that I was talking the other day, and with Fluminense signing 2 MLS players, I got a lot of DMs, and I say, man, it's so hard to analyze MLS players nowadays because Atuesta and Facundo Torres, in my opinion, they were great MLS players. They went to Brazil, and none of them could play. And then you have Luis Araújo.
Well, Luis Araújo did pretty well.
Luis
Right? I
Araújo
was going to
couldn't
say,
kick a
he's
ball
my
in
example.
MLS. He couldn't kick a ball in MLS, and then he gets to Brazil, and now he's the starter for Flamengo.
He's doing really well.
So it's kind of hard to kind of say. Mikael was an okay max MLS player. He goes to Brazil and also can kick a ball to save his life. So it's so hard to compare nowadays, but I like that there's an intermingle between both leagues. It's fun.
It's funny because if I was to turn around, the back of this jersey would say Atuesta, and I don't even dare wear this jersey in anywhere near Palmeiras down there. What happened to him was pretty crazy. Maybe some bad luck, but he picked up an ACL injury pretty early on. Never quite got acclimated to it, and then when he healed, he just never was much of a player. And man, we watched his game Orlando-Miami yesterday, and he still just plays those passes that are just insane. I don't understand why he didn't do well down there. I think he just kind of struggled with the physicality. It's a much more physical league. But on the other hand,
got there, guys. He just got
Jackson Mendez, who also played in our team, went down there, and he did pretty well for a minute. And if we also
for a minute,
I mean, you look at Botafogo when they won their first Libertadores, they did it with Thiago Almada. And
he's
Jefferson
a different level
Savarino.
player. Almada is a different it's a different caliber of a player to compare with those guys. But Joseph Martinez from Philadelphia Union,
he's been great.
He's been a great player for Corinthians, and they actually just knocked out Palmeiras in the cup. So there's that difference. I would never expect Joseph Martinez to be that guy. The same way I would expect Facundo Torres to be a little bit more than what he's doing right now. And right now he's a bench, and he should be a bench on Palmeiras, but they don't have the depth to put that guy on a bench right now. So it's just hard to compare. So every time somebody asks me about MLS players, I don't know what to tell you, brother. Santi Moreno from the Timbers, I don't think he's that guy. In the Timbers, he played decent, but to get to Fluminense, different from Costa. I always thought Costa was my favorite player since I started watching. My second favorite player since I started watching MLS, just after Diego Valeri. and I think Acosta can be a very difference maker in Brazil, even though he never played at that level. So I think it's going to be an interesting guy to kind of watch week in and week out.
Yeah, man, there's a lot going on there. São Paulo was doing really bad, towards the bottom of the standings, and sacks their coach, and brings back their old coach Hernan Crespo, Argentinian, and now they're like 6-7 wins on a row, looking good. It's starting to look like a real team. And São Paulo does not have the money behind that some of the SAFs have. So I'm always kind of, when is the private money is going to come in so we can start signing these guys? But São Paulo is a resilient team. A lot of tradition in Brazil. It's really hard to get any sort of advantage. And growing up, Flamengo was not the behemoth that they are today. So it does go through cycles. It's very interesting to see that about Brazilian football. Palmeiras now and Flamengo. Palmeiras is starting to lose that edge a little bit, and they're not the winners they once were. And now Flamengo is starting to look like that team.
Yeah, no, Palmeiras, even Abel has the criticism against him is starting to get pretty loud there. The failure against Corinthians was pretty bad, and for a lot of MLS fans to understand, it's the Palmeiras Corinthians is a massive.
That is a big rivalry,
hated rivalry, and it's a big deal. And so the guy who wrote Cabeça Frio Corazón Quente had a player get a quick red card, and he really looks like the guy who has had his team really drilled really well to play all the dark arts, has had guys losing their head and going out, which is completely uncharacteristic of an Abel Ferreira coach team who does not play Jogo Bonito when he plays, which is
he never
one
did.
of the things people don't like about him, but
he plays Dolobal. Just kidding.
Yeah, but he has a lot of kind of newer guys. Some are underpowered, and he's really struggling to wrangle all them together. And so a lot of fans want him out. But I mean, the thing is it's going to be a while before they get a coach to win as much as he has. I don't think he's quite out yet, but the calls are starting to get there for him.
Yeah, man. The seat that's hot real fast there. This ain't no MLS, man. He better watch out. Aunt Layla is coming for him. It's an exciting league.
She loves
you mentioned São Paulo. São Paulo was one of the first some Brazilian teams to sign players for MLS. I know if you remember a guy called Kaká. He was one of the first.
I don't know who he is. Tell me more.
When I don't think Orlando was even on MLS yet, he came and played for São Paulo. So
Kaká did more for MLS than a lot of players. He does not get the recognition he deserves. I feel like Kaká was a machine when he was here, and he was recognized within Orlando. What's that?
For the Brazilian community, yes, he was the guy that showed
right.
MLS
But again, he never popped. But like his stats were not bad, and he was a big part of Orlando there for a while. But yeah, I don't know. Kaká to me is gonna be always a special player.
I know you tried to do there. I know you tried to kind of knock off Messi a little bit, but I don't think people just criticize Messi because they're haters, because he's been done a lot for MLS.
I don't know if you guys caught this game, but one of the games I did catch this last weekend was the Atlético Mineiro Flamengo Copa do Brasil. I guess it was actually last week. But it was a pretty good game that went to penalties.
All the Copa games were hot.
Oh, yeah, no. And Atletico Mineiro seems to always get very close to the end, and they kind of just can't quite get over that hump. And this team here, I mean, knocking out this Flamengo team, it was a big game. It was a really enjoyable one. It's hard to see. They're moving on to the quarterfinals. They got Gustavo Scarpa, who I love. Rony Rustico, who loves the.
They got a lot of recycle guys from your team, bro.
He was a guy I would have always loved to see Rony Rustico in MLS. Like, I think he could have made a great designated player. I think he would do well here. But Brasileirão, he just if it's not a bicycle kick, he struggles. And they still have Holke in there, and he's doing his thing. But at the end, the last penalty kick was Everson, the goalkeeper, putting that in, and it was an epic penalty shootout.
Yeah,
man.
Flamengo didn't, since the beginning. They said that the cup wasn't their priority, but when they put somewhat of a starting lineup on the second game, you saw how different they are, which was pretty interesting to see that difference, how they control the game. But Atletico has some guys over there that have a lot of veteran experience, and Everson is a great goalkeeper. Hulk's a great player, so they might be able to go all the way to the end. And Cruzeiro, the biggest rival as well, they have a good team, a good starting lineup. It might be a good final if the draw allows it.
Yeah, as long as the Corinthians doesn't win. That's how I always see things in Brazil. If Corinthians doesn't win, I'm happy. Even Palmeiras, because now I know Eric, and I like him, so fine.
I can agree with you on that.
And when I grew up, Palmeiras wouldn't win anything. So that was an entire life where Palmeiras fans were just miserable. So like they essentially were the Boston Celtics, which is very, very telling that you're here, Gus. He's gonna kill me right here now. But they were essentially the Boston Celtics. The Boston Red Sox of Brazil, because they were for a long time not winning anything, right? They had what they thought was a curse over the team, so Palmeiras that is, and then it was lifted finally during the Parmalat years when they brought some players, you know what I mean? And then they've now became the behemoth that they've become. But Palmeiras did not have a sweet story, you know. It was all about São Paulo back then.
They actually had a fun story when they win the cup, and then they get relegated in the same year, about 15 years ago. So they played the Continental Cup, being in the second division, which was funny as hell to see.
Yeah, if that probably would happen here if we did have relegation, because the Galaxy looks like it's going to take the wooden spoon. But unfortunately, that doesn't happen in this league, and we're going to have to see the Galaxy play next year, even though it's not fair. Hey, I want to thank you guys for doing this with me. It's always a lot of fun to talk to friends about soccer and football. The Brazilian league is very, very cool to watch. I watch anytime that I can. I'm starting to watch more now after the Mundial. Man, I'm really proud of you for the work that you did, the coverage of the Club World Cup. That was excellent. It was very, very cool to see you on TV, on the Zone. All the best for you this weekend as well. You're going to the game? Are you covering it?
Yes, I'm going to be the game. Hopefully, I'll be doing the sideline reporting this time, which is something for the radio that I've been trying to work on, to get someone actually in the pitch like I did for the Club World Cup. But I appreciate the invite. I appreciate you, Eric. Eric, I saw you in Orlando. We couldn't have much of a chat because of my schedule in the Flamengo, but it was a fun game to watch, actually, even though Flamengo was not as much interested as I thought they would be for that game. I just want to say 2 shout-outs real quick. One for my future wife, Giovanna, who's watching me, and also for Caleb, that he sent a message through Twitter, too. At the beginning, he's one of the reporters for the Revolution.
He's
and a huge LA Galaxy guy. He was actually friends with Diego Fagundes, and he was in the celebration of the Cup last year. So huge shout out for him as well. Appreciate the invite, guys.
Very cool, very cool. Thank you, Eric, as usual. And for everybody that joined us from all over the world, very, very cool. We're on Kakao TV as well. It's a Korean TV streamer. I'm throwing the videos there, putting some subtitles in some of them. So this show, as soon as we end, we're going to put it up there as well. Try to get some of the Korean fans to watch us and understand Major League Soccer and get into Son Mania with us. But with no further ado, I really appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys next Monday at 6 p.m. live as usual with Section 28. This is Los Angeles, and as promised, a little surprise, a little tidbit about Brasileirão and maybe something that we will do in the future.
Viajo